Hey, my name's Jay from Team 125 Overland, and today we're going to talk about why I won't buy another Chevrolet. So, I have a long history of owning Chevrolets. My first car was a 1983 Firebird. Swear to God, I'm kind of embarrassed to say it. It had Ozzy Osbourne stickers in it and it had Mountain Dew in the back, but it was a 1983 Firebird. My second Chevy I ever owned was a 68 Chevelle. It was a 307 two-door badass. Man, that was something else. That was a beautiful car and I loved it. My third Chevy I ever owned was a 1994 Chevrolet short box, standard cab, black, Z71. I bought it at 64,000 miles. I drove it to 230,000 miles. It was fantastic. And my fourth Chevy, of course, was my 2011 Chevy Silverado Z71 short box, standard cab in black. I love my Chevys. There's a lot that I love about Chevy. Chevy seems to be a vehicle that's designed by mechanics. For mechanics. It has interchangeable parts. I remember when my Firebird finally blew up at the age of 19, I tore apart that 305 that was underneath the hood, took off all the brackets and stuff like that, popped out the HEI out of that engine, and I put it on that 307 Chevrolet, that 1968 Malibu, or that Chevelle. All the parts were interchangeable. It was fantastic. It was awesome that you could do that. To think that they designed engines that you could take parts off from 1955 and put them on a 1994 is just mind-blowing. Chevy's done some really cool things that always stick out in my head, like the HEI distributor. Now, if you're a mechanic and you're older like me, the HEI distributor is pretty badass. In a time where Ford was still using external coils on their distributors, GM put theirs right on the distributor. It made so much more sense. They took out the voltage regulators from alternators, put it in the alternator. They took out their starter solenoids, put it in the starter solenoid, put it in with the starter. I remember in the 1994 Chevy trucks, that old body style, that little cool mechanics light underneath the hood. You flip a switch and that thing would come out on a wire. It had a magnet on the back. You could stick it around parts of your truck and work on it. Chevrolet has always been innovative in its mechanical design. It's like they know it's going to be worked on and they want it to be easy. They're easy to diagnose, less wires, better quality. I've always been a diehard Chevy fan. So the question is, what has changed? What made me say I am no longer going to buy a Chevy? And obviously I stick to what I say because I bought a Toyota. I love my Toyota. A lot changed with Chevy, and basically Chevy has let me down. Okay, I'm not going to lie to you. And I see part of that actually in my 2011, and that's when it first changed. The first thing is lack of imagination and lack of innovation. Let's talk about Ford. Let's talk about Dodge. Ford has the Raptor. You're talking a 500 something horsepower off-road truck stock from the factory with Fox racing shots, remote reservoirs, and let's face it, I'm not a Ford guy, but that Raptor looks kick-ass. That is an awesome design. What about the Dodge? What about their new off-road truck? Amazing. But let's go a little further with Dodge. Let's talk about Jeep. A lot of new innovations with Jeep. But moreover, let's talk about the Hellcat. But no, let's talk about the Demon. The fastest drag racing car ever made. That is innovation. That is imagination. That is going to the next level. What does GM do? Let's not forget about the Rebel concept too. Talk about awesome, amazing. But I ask you, what is GM doing? What does GM have on the market? What is GM doing that's innovative and imaginative? The Camaro? I mean, they're just following the footsteps of the other big two. I am not impressed anymore. GM used to be all about this quality, but now the quality is just run of the mill. It's just like anything else. There's little fit and finish things on my truck in my 2011 that I noticed that I said, no. Moreover, my truck is a 2011. Two doors down, there's a 2012. That's 6 years old, and the quarter panels are rusty. The 6 years old, and it's a rust bucket already. And I see the new body style trucks running around already, rusty. We're talking 6-year-old trucks. That's not quality. Something has gone wrong with GM. One of the biggest things too that made me switch is GM dropped the mid-size, full-frame, rear-wheel drive trucks. Okay, so Toyota has a 4Runner, and it is badass. Obviously, I love my 4Runner. But Ford still has the Explorer, and that has a full frame underneath it, and it's rear-wheel drive. Dodge, the Durango, and the Durango is amazing. With a Hemi, come on. What does GM have? GM used to have the Trailblazer. The Trailblazer was badass, right? Especially the Envoy. They even had the little Trailblazer, which was a full frame and four-wheel drive. We used to stick small block Chevys in there all the time. That thing was a monster. That was great. And what was even better about those is you could buy them cheap, beat them up off-road. But now what do we have? No, we have front-wheel drive. GM has left the market. They've left the market for those mid-size SUVs with full frames or rear-wheel drive, and that's depressing. So if you're not going to go a mid-size Chevrolet, what are you going to go? Okay, well, let's go Tahoe. That's the next size up. Really? A Tahoe? A Tahoe starts at about $55,000, and if you want one with a Z71 package, you're looking at $62,000 to $63,000 for a vehicle. $1,000 for a vehicle for what? A V8? Something that's too big for off-road, and moreover, it has no aftermarket support. There is no aftermarket support for that vehicle. There's really not a whole lot of overlanding aftermarket support for my vehicle. I had to make do. So that's not a good option. One more thing that Chevrolet has let us down as far as the four-wheel drive community, and this has been an ongoing problem, is the IFS. For years, we've been dealing with the IFS. Since I believe 1988, we've been dealing with an 8.25 front-end IFS. Every other manufacturer has a solid axle. Ford, we see Ford trucks, well, I'm sure they have IFS, but at least you can get a Super Duty with one. Dodge, you know those Dodge trucks have nice big front axles front the front. Jeep. Now my Toyota has an IFS, but God bless it, it is still badass. But Chevy's always been weak, and we've never had that option to deal with anything aside from that. The best we got was the HD 9.25. Still not heavy duty. We still can't put lockers in the front of these. So once again, yet let us down for many years with the IFS system. Unless, of course, you want to get a solid axle swap and spend $10,000, $12,000 trying to figure out the geometry of that, which sucks. So I do love Chevrolet. I do love my truck. I've been a fan of Chevrolet since my first car. I've been a mechanic since I was 16. And I remember wrenching on my very first Chevrolet. It's always been a great experience. But I challenge Chevy, build something better. Don't leave people alone in the market like they have. Where's your midsize? What support are you really going for a community that's all in off-road? A lot of people are into off-roading now, and Overland is becoming bigger every day. It seems like everyone else is jumping on the bandwagon. Why isn't Chevy? I'm just disappointed in Chevy, and I know they can do better. So until there's a big change, until I see an improvement in the actual designs and innovation, and even some quality to some extent, I'm not going to buy Chevy anymore. It's sad to say because I do love their brand, but they've left the market. Now, if Chevy sees this video and they want to give me a free one, I guess I'll take it. And I'll gladly try to turn it into an Overland truck because I love modifying stuff. But I just want more from the company that I've loved for so many years. So please, I know I'll probably get a little bit of flack for this one and probably a little bit of heat. Tell me what you think. Let me hear your opinion on this. Tell me what you think about Chevrolet. Tell me what you think about Ford or what's going on with that. Tell me what you think about the things I've said. I'd love to hear your opinions. As always, thank you so much for watching my show. Thank you for actually enjoying it. Thank you for commenting it and being part of the community. Please subscribe to my channel. Please like this video if you did. And hey, as always, thank you and have a great day.